We are on the talk show. Okay. So today I have Emily Cross, an amazing filmmaker and documentarian, and I brought you here. I've known you for quite a while. It's funny. I'm even doing a different voice. Like you can hear, I've got like a totally different voice.
It feels very calming. I feel safe.
I've known you for quite a while. Probably like 5 or 7 years now. I've known you since before you were a full-time like filmmaker.
Yeah, like 6 years.
Yeah, and I think you have one of the most remarkable journeys. And I think more than anything, you have a journey that really encapsulates the value of hard work, because a lot of people think they want it, but they don't really want it. You know? Like a lot of people are like, yeah, I want to be famous and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, I want to make movies, but are you willing to like really grind and like get yourself to that place?
Yeah.
So just start from the beginning, start from like the daycare business,
Cool.
the whole education thing, and go all the way up into producing.
Cool. First of all, thanks for having me, Siphe. This is very cool, and I'm very excited to see what comes from it. And yeah, I'm very honored to be here. So yeah, I started in childcare. Growing up, I have loads of siblings. I come from a family of 7 siblings, so.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but they lots of different dads. We mixed around, you know. Yeah, half steps, all those. But I was very close to my little brother and sister, and throughout like the teenage years would help look after them a lot. So I grew, and then when I moved back to Durban.
What was the age gap?
7 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so quite younger than me. Yeah, but so I moved back to Durban, and they stayed on the South Coast. So I always had a love and a passion for kids, and like even when I was like 13 years old, I'd like babysit my parents' kids and stuff like that, and I came back to Durban, and I was doing homeschooling, and I found that when I was doing homeschooling in a sense where I was teaching myself, I didn't go to like a center or anything like that. I just had my textbooks and stuff, and I found I was going through the work like really quickly. Like when you're not in a classroom, like like those little 5 minutes going to like classrooms, or waiting for the teachers to get their shit together, or whatever it is, like drama, like freaking assembly, all of that. Like you can get so much work done so much quicker, and I had a lot of free time, and I wanted. Yeah, it was hard, hey. But also remember, I came back from the South Coast. I didn't really have like mates in Durban or anything yet, so it wasn't like I had things to do kind of thing. I was lame as hell. Yeah.
But I've noticed homeschool is it's like sink or swim.
Yeah, very
like
much so.
Who make it, they make it hard.
Yeah.
They make something out of themselves, but
the other ones just turn out weird, like really weird. I think like it's good at a certain age. I think you need to be in school for like the social structure. Like I'd say high school is a cool like time to start exploring homeschool, but before that, like you need the structure of like friendships and social skills, and
high school it gets a bit culty.
Yeah, like, and I feel like you're at an age like where you can start making decisions for yourself and like take on that responsibility. Like I don't know, for me it was just a click of like no one else is gonna write these exams for me. Like if I don't do it, it's not like you can say like, the teacher's like really dumb and like doesn't like teach well or whatever. It's like it's you. So you need to put in the work.
To self-motivate.
Yeah, but I think that was definitely the start of it, I think, because like if you don't do your work, you're not gonna pass, kind of thing. And but I had a lot of free time because I was finishing like a term's work within like a month, and I wanted to work. Like I always wanted to be busy. Like I hate just sitting. So I had a whole bunch of references from growing up, just looking after people's kids. Because I lived in Scotbridge, which is a super small town on the South Coast. So everyone's got fucking kids, and everyone needs someone to look after them. So like, and I was lucky, but they let me look after the kids. And then I saw there was a position. Actually, no. So I saw there was a position at Gordon Girls for an aftercare teacher, and I was like, that's perfect. Like I can work in the day, and then doing school, and then I can go do aftercare there. And I went and applied, and they offered me a job, and then there was like, treetops.
Yes.
I saw treetops and I was like, bro, that's like the fucking Clifton of preschools in Durban. Like, no, think about like, it's like the shit. So I was like, let me just try. And like, I remember I emailed them and like got no response. And I was like, not like, I'm going to go straight in there and like be like, how's it? Like, here's my CV. Like, no one can like blank it away kind of thing. And I did that. And then like, I left it for 2 weeks and like Gordon Girls was waiting for an answer. And then treetops offered me a job to look after the teachers' babies between like 4 months and 3 years old. So So I had 10 little like pubs all day to myself kind of thing. But so I took on that job and I absolutely loved it. Hey, like that was one of the best years of my life. It's just like you make these connections and like at the end of the year, like poof, gone kind of thing. Like it's rough in that sense. But it got to the point where, like I said, like I've always tried to be independent and you know, you want to be the strong independent chick that doesn't need anyone, but like in teaching and on like childcare, like that's not possible in any way. So I wanted to start to study. So I finished my matric. I did a GED, like the American diploma, because I'm fucking terrible at Afrikaans. Like if I was to do matric in Afrikaans, there's no way I would have been able to do it.
But that means you could just go to like Stanford or MIT.
Yeah, but they accepted chats as an equivalent, so it just looks like you've done your matric overseas and then you came here, kind of thing.
Wow.
But it's also I don't understand.
Listen to this and be like,
but I don't understand. No, I don't understand why it's not a thing where like where we live somewhere where like so many people are like 30 years old and you know. Like, I dropped out of school in grade 9 and then I, like, got back into it and that's why I started homeschooling. But there's so many people that drop out and it's so easy and, like, embarrassing to, like, not go back.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, yeah, GD is so easy to get, first of all. And, like, anyone can do it at any age. Like, and it's not a, like, you know, you have to have a grade 9 to be able to do it. Like, you just have to be over the age of 16. And that allows you to go and study anywhere. Like, most universities in South Africa accept it.
So, I had... I want to call her a cousin or like a family friend who kind of dropped out when she was in grade 9, but she didn't have that motivation thing that you have. Because like, no, it got to the point we got the textbooks, we like took her out of the negative environment that she was in, the place where she couldn't like seriously work.
Yeah.
And she just watched TV.
Yeah.
And just like didn't really focus and stuff. And didn't really, I don't know, it's like, unless you can self-motivate yourself and get yourself to do it, like, I was a super lazy kid, so I need to get like shouted at.
For me, I think it was that like, I saw how shit life can be when you don't motivate. In the sense of when I was staying in the South Coast and living with my mom, like shit was rough, and like all I knew was like that I didn't want to ever end up like that. And I don't know if that maybe was the motivation, like, because if you not keep moving, if you just stop, like things are gonna get rough. Do you know what I mean? You need to keep going, and like you need to keep looking forward, because like what you do now is laying that on the foundation for later.
That's amazing.
So I think that might have been like the motivation of just like you cannot stop. Like
that's a massive maturity at a young age. I feel like I've only discovered that like this year.
Yeah, it's trauma. It's the trauma. But no, for sure. Like you have to go through stuff that it's a click. And it's just like, you know, I think it's that click of that, like, there's a certain amount of stuff that other people can do for you and can help you with, you know, like everyone talks about connections and stuff. There's a certain amount that connections can help you in life and, you know, your privileges or like what you've been set up in life for. But there's a part where it has to be you. Like there's so much of that where like it needs to be your work put in.
And you're completely alone in that part.
100%. And also, you can't turn to anyone else. Yeah, it's you. Yeah. And also no one else is affected by it. It's directly only affecting you. Like you have to do it for yourself. Yeah.
Because you only know what you're capable of.
100%.
Yeah. That's crazy. Okay. Before we get too deep, tell me, filmmaking. How did you get into it?
So I discovered, I learned very quickly that childcare and being like in teaching wasn't going to pay bills and the bills I wanted to be able to pay. And I just had like, I was freaking like 18, 19 and like I had like, I want to call it like a mid-life crisis where I was just like, I always had this plan that like I was going to be in childcare. Like that's what I wanted to do. I had such a passion for kids and I was good with kids. And I think I just realized like you can have a passion for animals, but you can't be a vet. It's like the same thing. Like you have a passion for kids doesn't mean you have to teach them or like that can be your career. So I started to think about like where else, you know, could I go? And it was a solid time of just being like, fuck, like what am I going to do with my life? And my dad's in the film industry and at that time he had fuck all work. Like there was no work at all. And he also, I think of it now, like he's a massive role in it because he would never, even though he was not getting no paid work, he wasn't just sitting at home and chilling. He was like, fuck this, I'm going to go make a documentary. And he went and he got like everyone he knew that could shoot, anyone that could help him location wise, all of like, it was a music documentary and he had his connections there. So a lot of the people featured for free. Like, it was a group effort kind of thing.
I think we watched the premiere.
Yes, yeah, and it's gone on to win like awards and everything. But the point is that like he didn't stop; he kept on going, kind of thing. But so I was going through this time, and he was busy shooting, and he asked Barry to shoot, and I remember we went to UKZN, and
Barry's Emily's boyfriend.
sorry, yeah, a very good cinematographer.
People are watching going,
With Barry the Book's Barry. And so he asked Barry to shoot, and obviously it was the beginning of our relationship, so I was like, yes, I want to spend time with him more. So I tagged along, and
I remember how excited Barry was for it.
to be able to go shoot it. But I was out of flip. My mind was just blown at like how it was like the storytelling of other people's stories, and like how you can document things. Like I'd known about it because my dad's an editor and a director, and he's been like in the industry for a few years. So I've known.
Your dad edited Ali.
Yeah, and Mr. Bones. Yeah, yeah. He also, funny story, not to shit on announcing here, but he was so he obviously worked for Video Vision at a time, and they went to the Cannes Festival, and the Blair Witch Project was being like presented for people to buy, and my buddy was like, you need to get this film, and Nansing was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Like, it's a fucking like handy cam, like what is this shit? Like, no, it's like I'm not buying this kind of thing. So like they had a squabble or whatever. He also peed next to Leonardo DiCaprio, my dad, and then at the same festival. And then they came back, and like within like 6 months, Blair Witch Project, like whoever fucking bought it was like an absolute millionaire. Like, and shit was just flying. Yeah.
It was cheap, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It was, but just look at what it was. If you think of it, like before everyone else said it was good. Like, if you just look at what it is, like.
And the budget was something stupid, like $5,000.
Can you imagine? Like, and like it's still to this day. But anyway, so I went and I assisted on that day, and like I guess things started turning, and then. I remember when they were driving by Tollgate Bridge, and I was like saying to Baz, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with my life. Like, I have no, you know, that you just have, everyone's at those moments where it's just like, I have no fucking idea where my life's going.
Yeah.
And I was saying how like I enjoyed like the day, the assisting, and it was cool to see like that side of an industry. And Barry was like, you know, like you plan fucking everything, and you're like bossy enough, like you should be a production assistant or a producer kind of thing. And I was like, no. You got a point. Nicest thing though. No, I'll take it. I like it.
Do you know that's actually crazy? Because if you didn't tell me that story, like a lot of people think that because your dad was a filmmaker, it's something that you've just been doing forever.
Oh, not a fuck, hey.
Like people think like you've been making call sheets since you were 11.
I still to this day have no idea how editors like edit, in the sense of like, how do you sit behind a desk for that long and not go insane? Like, and I always used to get like when I was younger and he'd be editing, you hear the same fucking song again and again and again throughout the whole house, and you're just like, I've got a thing against editors.
Yeah, editing this sucks.
Yeah. But yeah, so then actually, so I was like, cool, like this is like the new thing I wanted to investigate doing. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, like I've got my matric, like I don't have fuck all any like studying things, but let me just take a punch in the dark. And
so film school isn't necessary.
I'm broke, bro. I could never, not in a million years did I ever think about studying, just from a point of like, it was such a far thought, like.
Unbelievably expensive.
And again, but also like again, if you think about like my mindset at that time, where I was like, I need to be safe, like in the sense financially, like I need to be independent. To go and study would have put me into so much debt, like, and I would have absolutely tweaked, like, I just couldn't. Also, like, I'd take my hat off to anyone that studied, because I could never, in this, like, flip the exams, the time, like, everything that goes into it, it's ridiculous. Like, it's amazing, and, like, I don't think I would be able to do it.
I think film school is tough. More because of the people.
100%. You've got a mini industry that's not even an industry yet that act like they are, though.
Because you get people who have egos who really shouldn't have egos.
Exactly. 100%.
And like there's guys who make movies that are like better than yours because they have more money than you.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, the people, the connections. That's all it is. You got the connections, you're sorted. But I remember going home and I was like, cool, like, let me look at, like, what's the next step? And I was like, cool, okay, let's look who flippin' can, like, what film industry is there in Durban? And I went and I know, like, it's like, majority of it was advertising. And then there was, like, one film place, which was tomfoolery. And I was like, like, I went and I stalked them on Facebook. And I was like, you know, like, I like the stuff they're doing. Like, the content they're putting out is like with the heart, like I felt a good vibe kind of thing. And I literally just messaged them on Facebook. And I was like, hey there, like, do you guys have any openings at the moment? Like, I'm like just recently matriculated, like I've been in childcare, this is me, like, and I'm looking to change industries, da da da. And I got called in for an interview like the next week kind of thing. And I remember in the interview they even said, they were like, you know, like, oh, like if you can look after kids, you can definitely handle a set, like kind of thing. And it's true, it's fucking true, dude. Stop that, like, no, like, take that out your mouth. Like, yeah. But yeah, so then Tom Fillery offered me a job as a production assistant. If I can quickly Google what a production assistant is, and then like I got the job, and I started there, and like blessing and a curse in the sense of like, did I get chucked in the deep end? Hey, like here's a 3-day Pearl Tuesday game shoot in Joburg that you have to produce and like go sort out kind of thing. And then I got made by her to go and fetch her fucking dog in Joburg, like to come bring to the set because she wanted that dog to be in the shoot. Like, it was rough, dude, but I loved everybody. It was fast, it was busy, and like I had to teach myself everything. Like, I don't know what a freaking call sheet was. What's a freaking call sheet? Like, what is this? Like, it was just, I googled absolutely everything and anything. Like, in any spare time I had,
I would have never thought that, hey, because I've been on one set with you, and you were just completely on top of it. Commanding people who were double your age.
Yeah, dude, being a chick and the youngest on sets that is like a rough thing, like to just, but I think there's only been mishaps like maybe once or twice, but besides then.
That is something I wanted to ask you because in my experience, I find women working in production, especially when you have to work on set, you get disrespected a lot. And people like often don't take you seriously. I saw that a lot when I was working in Cape Town. There was a lady I knew who was a third assistant director, and you're the third AD, you have to tell people to get to the green room, you have to tell people 15 minutes there. People aren't taking it seriously, they're not looking at it when they speak, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah. I think I have been lucky in the sense that Durban's very small. And blessing and a curse kind of thing. But the nice thing about that is you get a heads up on people's characters from others. And like I never judge people on that character, but I just keep it there in the back. Do you know what I mean? And I very quickly learned who I did and didn't want on my sets. And it was a lovely feeling of like, you can treat me however you want, but I know at the end of the day, you're never coming back here. Like, I never have to see you again. And there's something powerful in that, I think, of just being like, yeah.
I'm done, I wash my hands.
Yeah, and also, yeah, it's learning, like, you know that Black Mirror episode where, like, they can static people out? Like, the people annoy them so much that they're just, like, you can choose to switch people off. And, like, it gets to a point on set where if you're that kind of person, I literally just, you blanked. Like, you're not actually there for the rest of the day. And I think that's enough punishment as well.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're working at Tom Fillery, you're doing advertising, you're picking it up as you go. How do you then transition from that to being a documentarian?
So I started Tom Fillery, I think it was in like January, and I always, like, the other side of my life has always been like the one thing that got me through everything was wildlife and conservation, like game reserves. Like, since I was young, I've grown up going every year with my grandfather, and it's been like a family passion. And about 3 years before this, I was at Makuzi Game Reserve and I saw my first pack of wild dogs. I didn't even know what the fuck wild dogs were before then, to be honest. I didn't know what the difference was between hyenas and them. And there was this lady from Wildlife Act, and like she was chilling at the pool, and I said how, like, you know, if she's seen anything cool, like the biggest thing at game reserves is you ask people what they've seen so you know where the fuck everything is. And she was like, looked at her watch and she was like, yeah, you know, if you go down this road, it's like 4:20 in about 5 minutes, you might be able to see wild dogs. So I was like, cool, rad. Like, I don't know what the hell these things are, but let's go have a look. And I couldn't drive yet, and I asked my dad to take me. So we go down this road and we park and we stop, and there's fuck all, bro. It's just grass and there's fucking nothing here. It's a straight road. There's like, it's fucking grass around me, like 360 degrees, but we're like, cool, whatever. Like, we turn the car off and we wait. And next thing, you just start seeing these fucking white tails flick, like, everywhere. And, like, next thing's like 30 dogs get up. And I was just like, what the fuck am I witnessing right now? Like, I felt like I was seeing unicorns. Like, there was the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, think domestic dogs, but, like, you know, like Transformers are cool cars. Like wild dogs are the Transformers of fucking domestic dogs. Like they are so fucking rad and badass. And I came back and I like I said, I didn't know anything about these things, and I'd ask people about wild dogs and no one like really had information. Like a lot of people, they've got quite a bad stigma against them. Like people think that they like way back when they were seen as vermin, and people were actually paid to like cull them and get rid of them, and like now they're endangered species. So I'll fuck up. But I saw these wild dogs and I went home and I started researching them, and like they are fucking insane. Like their family dynamics, like the way they are, and yeah, I think personally they should be like our South African animal. Like they're incredible. And I
Can I ask
wanted,
you real quick?
yeah,
A lot of people aren't gonna know.
Yeah.
What is the difference in a wild dog and a hyena?
So like physically, they like hyenas are like a lot uglier looking, if I'm honest. They look like those things like the orcs ride in Lord of the Rings. That's basically a hyena. Like, and also Lion King, like fuck, hyenas we sorted. Wild dogs they're bigger than domestic dogs, but they're long haired, but like shape wise, like think like Africanus vibes.
Okay.
But the coat is what makes them fucking insane. Like if it's patches of white and brown and black, and each dog has a different coat, like like our fingerprints kind of thing, and they actually like can differentiate, like they know each other and like know who's who and stuff.
Oh shit, that's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's a dick. Like that's a dude. Like fuck off. But they like the most insane family animals. Like so in like the animal kingdom, for example, like lions, dude, like the chicks do all the work. Yeah. Then the dude will eat first, then the wife, then like the kids, and then like the sick and the old will eat last, because like they're trying to get them to fuck off now, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where with wild dogs, first of all, they hunt as like a pack, and it's literally like a fucking rugby formation. Like it's insane. If you can go look at footage of them hunting, and dude, and they're like ears flat fucking down, and they go. It's beautiful. And when they hunt though, so they all hunt together, and then the sick and the old will eat first, then the babies, and then like the moms and the dads will eat last, kind of thing. So that kind of vibe. And
it's like a human
yeah, dude. So like I started learning about them, and my friend worked at the game reserve, and I remember we once went and I started learning about like the snaring situations in KZN, about because obviously like the neighboring communities, like frick bro, imagine checking these like white foreigners all day, like rich as hell, going into these reserves. You never get to go and see in them, first of all, and besides that, you have no like income whatsoever, and your family's starving. I'm gonna fucking jump over and get some bucks as well, really, like that. But the thing that happens is that wild dogs can run such a like wide territory that so like in a kilometer radius, you can be taken out like an entire pack if they go through a snared area. Like, and it's not intended for them, but that's what happened, kind of thing. And I was learning like all these threats that they're facing, and like I had this feeling of like I wanted to do something to help, but like that feeling of like, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Feeling of helplessness.
Yeah, and like, but I don't know, it felt like there's like no one was talking about the species, no one, like I've never heard of them, and like I've been going to game reserves forever, and like no one, I don't know, like there's 550 left in South Africa, like that's tiny. Like there's more people in like a room usually, like a massive hall. Yeah, dude. And
that's half a school.
Yeah, like so it was, I don't know, I just had this feeling of like I needed to try and do something. And I was again back on Facebook, chilling at work on Facebook, and I saw like a sponsored ad for like, what was the words? It was like tell your story kind of thing. I was like, yo, what's something? And I go look, and it was for the NUF pitch contest. So NUF is natural environments and wildlife filmmakers, and basically, very long story short, but you pitch your 10-minute short film, and then you get 50K funding to produce it. And I was like, not at all, hey. But if you know how to use it, you freaking hustle. So then ask everyone you know for favors, then you find. But so I don't know, I'm like not a very confident person. Obviously, I've just been with this industry for like 2 months. I'm still a fucking production assistant, and I want to be a director. Yeah, exactly. Like, you will not be creative. Like, fuck the animals. Like, the thing.
Your idea nothing.
And I gave it a shot, and I was just like, you know what, like if there's anything I am ever going to make a film on, it's going to be these guys. Like, I know enough about them, I've got a passion for them, I've got a fucking tattoo for them already, like. So I tried, and I remember I saw a story the other day, because it came up as a memory, where like 2 days before it was due, my entire like proposal, dude, just disappeared off my computer, like just gone. like 15 to 20 pages of a proposal. Yeah, 2 days before. I had to do it all over again, starting from scratch. Like, it was disgusting. But like at that point, I just cried. Hey, I just cried. I was just like, what the fuck? It's the first thing I've ever put effort into, and it's like, fuck. And I remember though, like when it happened, I was like, I'm not doing this shit again. Like, fuck, that was forever. I've spent like 2 months on this thing. But I just grafted, hey, and I knew all my stuff, so I just wrote what I knew. And I think it actually helped because, you know, I think sometimes with a story we try to like tell so much, and it's like if you can just, what do you remember, like close it, and like what do you remember of it, and that's what the story should be, kind of thing. Like that's obviously the important part.
So it helped you put it all together?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, because it just made it, instead of the story being this long, complicated thing, it was about the dogs. Do you know what I mean? And it knew. Yeah, exactly. And I think it was just embracing the chaos. And
I'm gonna start telling people to do that. Write your treatment.
Yeah, and then
2 days before, delete.
just do it. Yeah, exactly. Also, the stress is just like, oh shit, like you get it done. And then so I submitted, and I think like a month passed, and I was like, cool, fuck, I'm never trying anything again in life. Like, I obviously didn't get it. And I remember I was having a nice afternoon, you know, those deep afternoon naps on a Sunday. And my phone's ringing, and I answer, and I'm like, yeah, kind of thing. And it's like Noel from Newf is on there, and he's like, hi, Emily, like, you've won funding. Like, oh, you're going to come and pitch at the Newf 2018. And I was like, what? Like, I genuinely thought it was an absolute joke. Like, it took a while, and like, I can shake off and chatted it through and stuff. And yeah, so I was one of 8 that had to pitch, and it was like a month's time. I didn't know what again, Google what pitching is, like, kind of thing, like, and I was fucking terrified, dude. Like, it was
pitch by yourself.
Siphe. Not only did I just pitch by myself, I had to pitch. Okay, so Newf does this thing every year called the Newf Congress, and it's 4 days long, and this year it was at Botanical Gardens. Actually fucking sick, at that conference side. And, you know, like they had VR, and like it was a 4-day congress. So that was the first time, fun fact, that the octopus teacher was ever shown. Was at Newf Congress. Yeah. Yes, yeah. And they like connected with Newf, and they like Newf was helping them. But anyway, so I like
that.
So exactly. So I like go online, and I'm like, cool, like let me see like what's coming up, kind of thing. And you know, it's like the fucking finance talks with Nat Geo, and like everyone from SABC's there, from 50/50, and fucking like BBC's there. The guy that like shot with David Attenborough, like, you know what I mean? Like all these people are there, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like everyone you've watched on TV or like that you grew up wanting to like be are there. And these are the motherfuckers you have to pitch in front of. Like, and you have to tell your fucking story, and it's like, give me your money.
So it wasn't a closed pitch at all?
Not a fuck. It was so it was, I was also on the last flipping day, last session, everything, and I was like, you know, like, it's like, oh, it's the worst time I thought.
South Africa's gone wild.
And again, I've never done this, and everyone else has like done this before, so I'm just like, you know in those situations where you're just like, why am I here? Like, it's not gonna end well, like, but let me just invest my time. Like, there was dope chow, so it was fun. So it was my time to pitch, and I go up, and like, all I remember is my dad saying, like, when you're pitching, make sure your hands are flat down, because your hands are shaking every once in a fucking check it. So my hands are flat down, and I pitched. How it worked is like there was a panel of like 5 judges, and then a room of like, I remember the one line in my pitch was that there are more people there than there were wild dogs left in South Africa. So there were like 500 peeps. There was a lot of people. And
that must have really hit the roof.
Right, yeah. That's the one that scored it. That last line was the one. I added it on the day because I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so I go up, and like obviously the fucking projector trips, obviously, like, you know, like slide 6, and it's like slide 6, like it's getting stuck, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna wing it. But anyway, it went like okay and stuff, and then the fucking questions are the most terrifying thing. Like, please, like, just imagine, these are 4 of the most powerful women in South African, like, television and producing and directing and, like, just management. And, like, the questions they were asking you, they just whacked you. Like, as an example, one of mine, and, like, I'm so glad that I got this feedback because it's something that, like, I listened to and I'm using later, kind of thing with the feature. But one of the sections I wanted to feature was basically going into the community and getting the view of snaring, because I think a lot of people have a misconception of it, and like no one started a conversation about it to like see, because like if you fucking have a conversation about it, it's very clear why it's happening and that it's necessary, kind of thing, unless you know that there's a conversation had and like efforts are put in to change things. And so anyway, remember this is a 10-minute short, so I wanted to feature this, okay. And fucking Tando Shozi, I fucking love her now. Like, she was the most terrifying lady ever to be there and having to do. And she says she's got feedback for me. And she goes, obviously, she says a whole bunch of nice things, first of all, I must say. So that's fine. But then she says to me, like, what makes you think that you can give enough time to honor these people's story? Like, what gives you the right and the time to be able to, in 10 minutes, show someone's point of view? Do you think that's fair? Yeah, especially, but also your documentary isn't on the community. Your documentary's on the dogs.
This is just a side
project. And what makes you think that like you're entitled to be able to feature that as a side project? That should be the main project. And I was like, fuck, okay, like, yeah, you're right, 100%. And I took it out straight away. And like that, for me, the kind of person I am is a lot like, for once I've got my shit in a row, like that's my story, that's what I do, I follow through.
She actually caught you on a bit of political correctness there.
No, 100%. Like, because it's true, dude. What gives me the right? What gives me the right to say that like this is enough time for you to be able, imagine someone coming to you and telling like your story of what makes you Siphe, and cool, you need to tell me in 2 minutes. There's so much that can be judged off that, where it's not you're not honoring that person or their story. And again, it's not, for me, like even, so I'm busy conceptualizing a feature for part of the pack, and again, it came up as to whether to feature it. And for me, my one thing that I keep saying is that it's not, if you're trying to tell someone's story, then it needs to be a story on them. You can't have a story on the dogs and have it as a side. It's not a side story, it's a main story.
Yeah.
But it was just a side of things in filmmaking that I'd never thought of. And I think that's also something that you've taught me of, that like you can't, as a filmmaker, you need to be very careful about taking other people's stories and telling them, and not letting them tell their story.
You're the first person to actually say that to me, because people love taking other people's stories.
Yeah, dude. And it's just, I'll chuck you in front of a camera and I'm going to use your story for how I want to, and I can manipulate it however I want. And I can shorten it however I can decide what parts of you I'd like to show, which I don't think's right. Yeah.
Jeez.
And you can profit off it. Like, think about, like, I always think about the photography in the photography world, like all those famous pictures that have gone completely viral. And like, those people don't even know that they've gone viral. What were the permissions around that? Was there any retribution? Did anyone get any money?
There's a bunch of pictures of, it will just be like a starving black lady holding
dude, it's poverty porn.
And then it'll sell for like $25 million.
Poverty porn. How much goes there? Starving. Exactly, dude.
We had to shoot something in Alex. Alex is like, think of, it's a really hectic township. Think of, wow, how do I say this without being super offensive? It's just very hectic. There's no way for me to say
it's rough.
Without, it's like, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
We shot there, and they told us to shoot poverty because we're doing a music video, and then after we submitted a part of the music video, they were like, no, we need more poverty in the music video. Go into Alex and capture some poverty.
Yeah.
So we go to this lady who's selling chickens, and we ask her if we can film her. And she goes, so you guys are going to come here, you're going to film this, you're going to make all of this money, and I'm going to be poor tomorrow. And she said it to our faces, and we were just like, whoa.
Nothing stronger than a black woman, bro. She's gonna fucking flick you straight. Where's my cash? No, but it's true, dude.
It's just like, wow,
100%, yeah. 100%. You're profiting off other people's stories. Like, it's not right. It's okay. And I think, yeah, if you want to feature people's stories, you need to give them enough time and space. And also, I think there's a lot to learn in filmmaking itself, of like respecting all people's boundaries, in the sense of like, you can't, like with that, so say I went to go and feature the community in my documentary, in the time frame I needed to do it as well. So what was I just gonna like rock up and be like, how's it guys? My name's M, like how's it, what do you think of wild dogs, hey? Like not a fact. Like, you need to build the relationships and like make the connections and like settle, like, cool, like what do you guys need out of this? What would you want people to say? Like, I think conversations need to be had and definitely need to be recorded, but it's not a space when it's a film about the dogs kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That is hectic. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I've pitched.
Sorry, just for me to say, I think you've had adversity at every single step all the way up. Like, it's never been an easy climb.
Never.
Like,
Yeah.
people just see Emily with the new white
No,
car.
100%.
And they're just like, oh, it's nice.
Not very.
It's nice. But
So many tears. So many tears. No, it's been rough and it's been graft, hey, and it's been putting a lot of things aside and opportunities aside as well. And I think it's been deciding what I want and just
What do you mean opportunities aside?
like what could so I've chosen this industry to be in, like what if I chose other avenues, like there was 5 minutes when I wanted to do like psychology, for example, or
I remember that.
there was like the childcare or whatever it might be. It was going into that world. I'm someone where I wouldn't want to change again. I don't think, like I'm in it for the long haul now kind of thing, and like thank God I love it.
Man, it's a film.
Yeah, like, and I think opportunity just in the sense of what else, because I think the work we do definitely like shapes us, and like what we get out of life, what our goals are and our aspirations, and what would have different. No, but like, you know what I mean, like right now, my mindset now, like an example is when I was in childcare, dude, I was like, I want to be married by 30. I want to have a fucking little kiddo. I want, like, you know, the white picket fence. And I'm like, not a fuck am I ever reproducing, first of all. Ever. Like, never. Like, working in childcare is the best contraceptive ever. Like, you're just like, never gonna happen. But for an example like that, like if you in another, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like in the film industry, there's the opportunity where I could have maybe had a different life in a sense of whatever my surroundings would have been there to impact it.
I think about that as well. I could have been an accountant.
Dude, yeah.
And suicide.
But I definitely 100% feels big feels. But I think it's it's just deciding what. I think everything happens for a reason, and I know that sounds fucking corny and it's the shit that's in people's bedrooms and shit, but for reals though, like I think
Love.
we like our experiences lead us where we need to be, kind of thing. And like I think every bad shit that happens somehow contributes to what your next step is.
It's very tough to accept that. But
Yeah, it's fucking rough, dude. Fucking rough. But yeah, you get it. It's like
No, because like shit, like I'm not going to talk about the shit I'm going through right now. But you know the shit I'm going through
yeah,
right now.
yeah.
It's like you don't think about it, but then you realize after everything is done that wow, this actually made me a little bit stronger. This actually made me a little bit
100%.
smarter. Now when I walk into a room, I know. Like I think of all the shitty little productions I've done. I think of all the music videos I do.
The embarrassing shit,
$5,000,
never what people want you to
$1,000.
know.
Exactly. Like, if I hadn't been screwed over on a shoot for 5K, then I wouldn't have known that I'm about to be screwed over when somebody's telling me about 250.
100%.
You know?
100%. And it's
So-
just, it's going through the fucking hiccups and then you learn it for later. Like, I find all that bad shit never happens twice. Think of it that way. Do you know what I mean? The shit's gonna keep happening, but that thing will never happen twice because it happens, you learn from it, puts you where you need to be, I think.
If
Like,
it happens again, you didn't learn.
I've had some very fucked up shit happen in life, but I genuinely, and it's like, fucking sounds psychotic to say, but I would go through every inch of it again because I genuinely think it's like if anything happened differently, you know, would I have come back from Durban a different time? Would I have I think everything happens when it's meant to happen.
Okay.
So,
That's really deep.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So just before we wrap this up, I just want to talk about something that people aren't going to know about. You've made the documentary now. All right. Well, firstly, I want you to talk about the actual documentary making process because a lot of people don't know how you actually shoot a wildlife documentary, like in terms of how you actually produce it. But then, I have it. What do I do with it?
I get you.
You know?
No, 100%. So, I ended up pitching and I won the 50K funding. I also won the audience award for my pitch where I was just like, holy shit, I can pitch. Like, I can do this kind of thing. And the first thing that was like a learning curve was I didn't know the industry, okay, and so I win this funding and I'm like, sick, like 50K tomorrow in my bank account kind of thing, and it's like, no, it's not how it's gonna be, like, so I didn't know, and I think a lot of people should know that, like, it all is in stages. So like in your pre-production stage you get this amount, and in this stage, like on your deliverables you get certain amounts, and that's why it's so important.
Can you tell people what deliverables are?
So deliverables in the sense of that, so when you signing your contracts, it would say exactly like, you know, you need your narrative treatment on this date, you need your budget finalized at this time, you need your edit done at this time, and those are your deliverables. You'll get that across. So the deliverables were tight. Like, I think it was 4 months in total to do. And again, like, I was just in advertising. I did some game shoots and I did some fucking, and shit went bad kind of like. With the budget, it was important to think ahead in the sense of that now you know that these are coming in stages. So you can't put 80% of your budget in production. So for those that don't know, in filmmaking, you get pre-production, which is your starting, production, which is when you're shooting, and post-production, where you're editing, putting everything together. So, yeah, you can't have 80% of your budget within production, because if you need it for the section before pre-production, or you need some for post kind of thing, and you run out of money. So it's really hard to plan. Yeah, no, you can't as well. But also funders are like, no, not a fact. So what I did is, like, I hustled hard in the sense of I asked everyone I knew that, like, could help me. And I was like, I think that's also something that I learned with this is, and in this industry, is just, like, ask anyone for anything. Like, what's the worst they can be is like, no. And it's like, cool. But there's so many opportunities where you could ask someone and they're gonna say yes, and you freaking sort it. Like, and I think that's something I learned also about, like, the wildlife filmmaking spaces compared to advertising. Advertising is this, like, competitive money making fucking thing, where wildlife, everyone just wanted to help each other. Everyone wants everything. So I went to 4 of my friends, including Barry, love you, and then I paid them terribly. So I said, no, but hear me out. So I think it's, you be honest about it to the people that you want working on and stuff. They got paid, I think it was like literally like 2K, and we went and we shot for 5 days. But the thing of it was that, first of all, I'm being open and honest about my budgets. It's not like you getting paid 2K and I'm getting paid like 8. I got paid fuck all, like, first of all. Yeah. And you're going to get a 5-day stay in, like, the world's oldest, like, big 5-game reserve in Africa. And you're going to be shooting fucking endangered species. And if this goes somewhere, your name's on the credits kind of thing. And those that were amped got involved, and we went. So we went and we shot for 5 days at Umfolozi. Biggest mistake of my life was trying to think that I could do a documentary on an endangered fucking species. Like, we spent all day looking for these dogs. We got the shots we wanted, but definitely not enough footage.
How do you find the dogs?
So luckily, because obviously, like, throughout these years now, I've been, like, the biggest wild dog fan, like, in a very unhealthy way. To the point of, like, I made mates with the people that worked at Wildlife Act, and, like, there was a guy named Cole Duplessis, who, like, for me was fucking Superman. Like, this guy is responsible for basically every wild dog in Africa, where they're going. So, like, making sure that there's no, like, interbreeding, relocating, managing each one. Like, he's just insane. So I, like, completely fangirled over all these people. And when it came time to producing, I was like, I got the O on Facebook. Like, cool. Like, we've never spoken to each other before. And I sent him a message and I explained, I'm doing this documentary. Like, would you like to be involved? He was like, 100%. I'm in. And, like, every single person I asked, not one person came and turned around and said no to me throughout that whole process of filming this documentary. And, like, so they all got involved. And they offered me to assist while we were shooting to track. So Wildlife Act, they have telemetries on endangered species, and they monitor telemetry. So the collars.
Oh, okay.
So it monitors them. So, and, like, that also, because, like, when I heard it at first, I was like, oh, cool. So you're gonna be like, there's a dog. Like, it is so hard and so vague. All it's saying is, like, somewhere there. Like, in between 12 and 2, somewhere there. And then it's like, if it beeps fast, it's running. If it slows down, it's sleeping. And it's like, oh, is it no, it's okay, it's alive, it's running. Like, and it was rough, hey, like, back and forth. And, like, you've got fucking tripods in the back of like these buckies on like these dirt roads. The gear, it was so hard in the sense of the dust. They would, like, in the day it would be boiling hot. At night there would be like storms, and you fucking just covering gear, and you're just like getting soaked. Like, also with gear though, hey, big borrowed and stole, like, well, not stole, but like Jimmy Reynolds, like, literally just dropped a mess being like, and he I said, like, if there's any way you guys could like sponsor equipment, or like give us a discount or anything like that, and he was like, take what you want, take what you need, kind of thing. DT as well, as long as so I went to DT, and I was like, guys, like, if I like tag you in the post, if I like put a credit, like, dude, waving that credit like is the people will say yes to it, like, that's all. I'll give you a credit, cool, stoked, kind of thing, like, I'm in. DT gave us a massive discount for offering the credits, and for just like, you know, like during the like BTS, like behind the scenes, like as you post tagging them and stuff like that goes a long way. So we shot, and so the Wildlife Act people were the guys that would help us find the dogs. We shot, we didn't get, like, we got good footage. We saw dogs every day, so we were stoked in that sense, but was not enough footage. And we came home and it was time to edit, and we had, how much was it? I think it was, so we interviewed, I had 3 main subjects. It was Fiona from Wildlife Act, Zama from Isambelo, and then Cole from Endangered Wildlife Trust. The 3 like main groups that are involved with wild dogs. And we had like 6 hours of interviews for 10 minutes, a documentary. So it was rough trying to choose like what needs to be said when, like how, like what the main point, and it comes down again to just simplifying, dude. What's the main, like, what's your like what's the main thing that needs to be going across, kind of thing. So we shot, came back, I discovered like, yeah, there's a lot of talking and not enough of dogs, kind of thing. And again, I'm like, where the fuck can I get footage from? So I literally went onto YouTube and I found wild dog footage of people. And the one shot I found, which I thought was fucking incredible, was this guy made a beetle cam. Like, he like fucking works in Kenya as like a field guide, and he made a fucking beetle cam.
A camera that goes on a beetle? That's
in it. Well, no, like a fake beetle. So the animals think it, like, Kanji! Like, focus point! No, so he made like this little like gimbal, but it looked like a beetle. Yeah. And the animals are so cool because they're so inquisitive. Like, they know it's not a person, so they literally go up to it and you get this insane footage. So I literally clicked on like the guy's name, and he had like 5 subscribers. It was like a random dude in Kenya, like this, you know, like the guys from South Africa, they've gone across to do a field guide, and like they just, yeah. And he's got a lot of gear. He's got so much, 100%. Like the elephants in the back, like. So I found the guy's email address, and I found him on social media. I found him on Instagram. And I literally again dropped him a message. I'm like, hey dude, like, so my name's Emily, like I've won funding and I'm making a documentary at the moment, like I'm not making a profit from it, I don't have the funds for it, but if there's any way like you'd want to be involved for credit, let me know. And he was like, yeah, cool, yeah, and here's the drive of all my other footage as well of the wild dogs I have, kind of thing. And then I was like, it clicked, and I was like, well, maybe I should ask some other people as well, kind of thing. And there were all these people that just wanted to offer the most incredible footage of these animals, and it
so initially you were going to do it all with just your own footage.
Yes, well, that was my hope. I was a production assistant. I didn't know anything. Okay, like I was like, I want to go to the game reserve and like shoot, and we got like probably about like, okay, we definitely got like an hour's worth of footage, I'd say, but like, it's so repetitive because those things are so fast. They're going past, like, and they are always on the hunt or on the move. They were never just fucking chilling, like the dogs when we were shooting them. They were always moving. But so much of the footage, it was just amazing and like refreshing seeing advertising being this like competitive space. And then wildlife, just everyone being so open. It was for the dogs. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't for a profit. It was for like the wildlife and like the story and making a difference, which I thought was just amazing. So we made the film, and I was like, I still had that feeling of like, well, what are you doing for the dogs here? Like, you've made the film, like, kind of thing.
Did it feel like it was selfish? You made the film for you?
No. It was like, so going back to like needing to do something for the dogs, and like I thought that just making the film would fulfill that, and it didn't. Like, it was more, yeah, it felt like okay, well, like your part of it's filled in the sense of like you've spent time on a project on something you're passionate about, but it was like, in what way, just doing from that point of where I got to, in what way does that contribute or help the dogs? And it didn't. It was more just for like, cool, I've done it. So then I thought about it and I was like, okay, cool, well, what are the issues with wild dogs? Is that people don't know about them. Like, no one has a love or passion for them because they don't know. Like, people don't know about what they're not educated about. Like, it needs to be out there. Like, when you look at all Disney films, like, and even on Animal Planet stuff, when you turn stuff on, it's never dogs, wild dogs. It's like lions or like the hyenas or like whatever it is, but it's never the dogs. So I was like, I need to somehow get people to watch it. How do you get people to watch film festivals? How the fuck do you enter a film festival? What the fuck's a film festival? Can I enter film festivals? Like, I have no budget or money for film festivals. Like, I have no cash where I can just, you know, like, it's no trust fund where I can just be like,
Cool.
yeah, so there we go. Yeah, exactly. So, again, I whipped out Google, hey? And I was like, how do I enter film festivals? Like, what do you need? And they're like, cool, like...
You're the second highly successful filmmaker I know who Googled their job.
Everything, dude. I've Google has saved my life. So there's so many times in, like, meetings where, like, you know, like, hectic businessmen and advertising, and, like, we're having chats, and then, like, I'm like, cool, I agree to do whatever, and we leave the room, and I'm like, what the fuck was that word? Like, I'm busy Googling it to see what's what. But so I went on Google, hey, and I saw, like, you know, what basically a festival package, like what you should have together to be able to enter festivals. And, you know, it was like your trailer, your synopsis, your crew, director's statement, and like, and some production stills, like, of your film, like screen grabs.
Like BTS?
Both. Yeah. So some BTS, like, it's not critical, but BTS is always so nice to get. Like, I think that's the one thing I wish I got more of, because, like, fuck, you can just keep that content going and going on your social media pages, and it just grows. So I got all the stuff together, and then I was like, okay, free nature and wildlife festivals to enter kind of thing. And then Film Freeway popped up. Film Freeway. And I was like, okay, what is this kind of thing? And, you know, when it felt like I was opening a Facebook account. It was like, you know, that, like, long, like, and what is your bio? And I was like, oh, fuck, like, likes long walks on the beach, like, kind of thing, like that. And so it does take a while. I think I spent about an hour to 2 hours just to do it properly. And I created an account on Film Freeway, and I loaded my project. So you can have also multiple projects on it, which I think is fucking insane. So if you've got, like, 5 short films, you load them all up, and then you get good to go, and you'll see now why, kind of thing. So I loaded part of the pack on. I put so much effort into everything, because, like, you obviously just want to do it once. You don't want to have to go back. And, like, that's now what you show to people. It's basically like your online proposal for your film. Like, that's what you're going to be sending around. And you load your film, and then I was like, cool, like, now what? So again, I searched in Film Freeway, I searched wildlife. Fucking all, like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of festivals come up.
So wait, just explain to me. So Film Freeway, it's like a social media for festival?
Not social media. It's an online platform. You don't interact with anyone except for festivals. So you can ask your festivals questions. But what I love about it is these filters on the side where you can be like, cool, I want documentary. This is the runtime of my project. I got fuck all budget to enter, so I want free entry. Or, you know, like, I've got $1,000 I can spend on entry. Like, and so you can filter it how you want, which is really cool.
And then because your thing's already formatted, you just go enter.
So you just go, you go submit, and then you choose your category. And it's, well, first you're going to choose your project. If you've got multiple projects, you choose what project you want to submit to it. You choose your category, you fucking press send.
Dude.
And you spend hours and hours and hours. I think I've entered over 500 festivals.
Do you realize how many people's lives have changed?
Yeah.
Oh,
so part of the pack has been selected to 35 festivals. It's been on DSTV twice. It was on 50/50 and the People's Weather Channel. It's gotten 3 awards. Like, it is done so well, and it's crazy. Like, the one also advice I can say is people don't give a shit what festival it is. If there's like 5 O's watching it in Mexico at, like, some random fucking festival, it's still a festival, and it's still a fucking Laura for your film. Like, just do it. Like, just enter it. Like, I have entered the most randomest festivals, and they fucking get accepted and awarded shit and, like, nominated. And it was really cool, like, this last year, because that was the time I've done festivals. during COVID to see how everyone has differently like handled it around the world. And like thank God, because I'm such a shy person. Like, can you imagine if there were all the festivals we actually had to go places and like meet people, I would have absolutely frozen. But it was also, and also another thing with festivals is if there's a festival you see that you want to enter, there were a few where I just could not afford that, hey, like, and it was something though where I thought I really had a chance, like I inboxed them on like, again, like an Instagram or whatever, and saying like, do you have like a waiver code? Because also I think every 90% of festivals that exist are on Film Freeway, from Durban Film Festival to Durban Film Art to fucking Cannes, like animation festival kind of thing. Like, so everything is on there, and it's just taking the time. I've spent so much time on that site, and then you start getting the inspiration of like, cool, that is just one of so many different kinds of like places where you can submit to festivals. And and a lot of the things, once you've got that package together, it's very rare that anyone's going to ask you for something you don't have.
Yeah.
So I haven't had to touch that thing for like 2 years, a year and a half. Like, it is what it is. Like, and I still, to this day, like 2 days ago, I was submitting to festivals. Like, it also does not like, you've got a year time period to like enter festivals or anything. Like, pump that shit. Like,
wow, yeah. That is crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This has been an amazing discussion. I'm sorry I have to cut it off here.
No, it's been so much fun. Thanks,
but
you.
Dude, I just have to say, your story is insane.
Thank you.
It's just like perseverance, hard work, and just making it happen. Just like putting it together. Like, I did not know that like there was this much. No, seriously, like, people think it's easy. And especially working in production, everybody else thinks our jobs. Everybody else thinks that we're basically...
We eat everyone's shit. That is literally our jobs, is we deal with everyone's fucking shit. Like, so you have to be thick-skinned. But I think it's going through shit and using it to rather, like, fucking propel you forward than instead of, like, holding it back or, like, making you go a bit slower. Like, right. Just keep pushing forward, yeah.
See the gutter so you can reach for the stars.
100%.
Shout out.
Thanks so much, Siphe. It was lots of fun.
I don't really end him like that. I think Caleb's outside.